So now that we're caught up on work, we got customer cars caught up to where they can be right now, we're jumping back on the RX7. And that is going to be some body work today. And then we're gonna probably jump up, do a little bit of engine stuff and suspension stuff, a whole bunch. So we're doing a little bit of everything today. So I've already gone through and prepped our driver's door for paint. I have prepped our wing for paint. Well, I guess primer, because we're gonna primer today, paint tomorrow, and then clear coat everything tomorrow. We did get our carbon fiber hatch in, and I was debating leaving it carbon, but I think I'm gonna paint it. I think we'll get a cleaner look off the car with it painted. I do think it looks really good with the carbon weave on the car, but the thing is I think the overall look of the car and the aesthetic of it is going to look better with the hatch actually paint matched to everything else. Now, the nice thing with this is that on the hatch here, we don't have any holes for a rear wiper. And that was one of the big reasons why we got this hatch over using our factory hatch over there. Now, I do want to give a huge shout out to the guys over at Rally Sport Direct. I hit them up, I was like, hey, can you guys snag a Cybon hatch for me? We got that all sorted because everywhere I was looking, they were out of stock and we just couldn't get one. So a huge shout out to the guys over there. If you don't see what you're looking for on the site, give them a call. Tell them I sent you over there, be like, hey, can you guys get this or can you guys find this for me? And they might be able to source it for you. So let's wrap up paint prep, or primer prep, I guess I should say. We need to scuff up the hatch. We do need to hit that thing with some primer before we go to paint it. And then it'll be just like painting anything else. So we're gonna scuff this thing up just so that way we can get some mechanical adhesion for the primer to stick on there. And we should be good to go to start primering all of our parts. Hatch is all sanded, ready for primer. Door is ready for primer, and then the wing up there is also ready for primer. Wow, this is the wrong lens, this is really zoomed in. So let me blow up this paint booth real quick. Let's get these parts in there and let's get some primer sat down on these. We'll let them cure overnight, get these things painted, get them back on the car. For the door, I'm gonna have to sandblast and powder coat the door brackets for that. We will do that tonight just so that those are ready to go for tomorrow. So once the door is cured, we can just put that right back on the car. I don't know why, but for some reason my head cam, the exposure is just broken on it. I think the camera overheated when it was in one of my camera bags, and I think this camera unfortunately might be toast, so I apologize for the massively whited out screen. We officially have every panel painted except the hood. Mainly because I haven't decided on a hood yet for this car. I don't know what I want. Originally I wanted the street hunter hood, but then I found out that it doesn't actually line up with the Greddy V-mount, which is what we have. So now I'm back on the market for trying to figure out a hood that I want. But regardless, the hatch is painted, the wing is painted, the door is painted. I am very glad we were able to save the panels that had chemical reactions and they came out good. As soon as I saw the reactions, I immediately stopped painting, because if you keep just layering paint on top of a reaction, obviously the paint's gonna continue to react. So what I did was sand it with 400 grit paper with wax and grease remover, got the reaction down to where it was nice and smooth again, did a couple dust layers on top of that, and then started to go heavier, and everything came out freaking perfect, except for the wing. It has a couple runs in the clear coat, but that's all right. We've got the wing, the hatch, and the door all painted. On the wing, we do have a couple runs on the side right there, which that's easy. We can wet sand that out. I'm not concerned with that. That's in the clear coat. The spots that had chemical reactions on the door was this area right here, and as you guys can see, that is no longer there. Same with the wing. It was in this entire area here. No reaction after we fixed those. We did 4 coats of base on this because of the reaction, and 4 coats of base on the wing, and then 3 coats of base on the hatch right there. 3 coats of clear on everything, and it just came out muy magnifico, came out perfect. So there is orange peel in the paint, obviously, because I'm still learning. I think I had my gun pressure up a little bit too high on this stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that all of the panels are just all one color. They're finally, since I've owned this car, every panel is now one color. So I've already made the appointment for the glass guy to come out. He's gonna come out Monday, install our brand new windshield, and transfer the glass from the old hatch to the new hatch. So that way, the body at that point will pretty much be complete. There's still some little stuff here and there that we need to put on it, but I'm hyped. So we're gonna let this stuff sit overnight. Tomorrow we'll put the door and the hatch on. The wing, I'm probably gonna wait a little while because I do need to drill into the trunk. I don't know, I just opted to do it after, okay? I don't know why. Judge me if you want to, really doesn't matter. So let's get out of here, come back in the morning. We'll set these aside for the morning. We'll work on the actual car itself and then get these panels on. It is the next morning. All of our parts are looking good. I am going to wait to really start messing with this stuff up until just later this afternoon. Try to give them as much time to harden up as cure as possible. I want to get the door and the hatch both on the car. This series of painting was kind of a disaster. I apologize about the Insta360 being blown out. That camera, I accidentally left it on in my backpack, and I think it just kind of fried the camera, unfortunately, for exposure, because it's like always, it's just taking in all the light all the time. So while those parts sit and just kind of chill for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the brackets for the door and the hatch, so that way we can get those things bolted up onto the car, so that way they can just cure on car, because ideally that's how I like to leave these parts, is once they're painted, get them on the car, so that way they can actually cure up and not get bumped into, not get ran into, stuff in situations like that. Dude, we've got a door and a hatch now. We have a completely painted FD with the exception of the hood. I still have to buy a hood. I just don't know what hood I want yet for this thing, but dude, oh my God, it looks so good. I want to get this thing pushed outside, but before we do that, I want to knock out the seals because I have all new seals for this door. While it's on, I might as well just get the seals on. So new seal for the top, new seals going around the bottom of the door. I have to put the door check in still, but we're gonna wait to do that until I get the seals on here just to make opening and closing this thing a little bit easier to get all the seals on. So let's swap out our seals. We'll get the door check on, get our mirror on, get this thing pushed out because I want to see this thing outside of the shop with all of its painted panel. Reassembling this door just absolutely kicked my butt. It was trying to get the door handles swapped over because I bought new door handles for the car, and swapping over the locks and some of the other stuff just for some reason really confused me. And then the other thing I was fighting with was getting the mirrors bolted onto the door. That was just a whole nother fight in itself. Well, to be honest, this sucked quite a bit, but we have a door and we got a mirror. I had to extend the harness for the gain doors so that way the wire would actually drop down where it needs to go. But this sucked so much, I just want to get the other side done. I'm gonna chug through it. We have brand new door handles, which swapping everything over from the old door handle to these new ones is a little bit confusing, but I'd say it's well worth the money getting these brand new ones because everything just looks so much better having new trim and new handles and all the new stuff that we can get in there. So let's go ahead and get after it. Thankfully, the second door went a lot smoother after figuring out the first door. Sometimes it just takes one to, you know, just kind of get the hang of things a little bit. The passenger side, we're gonna have to wait to finish because I need new window track molding. I just ordered some, it should be here Saturday. It's just what the window rides up and down on. But on the driver's side, we at least have the window back in. And this side, for the most part, is all complete. We still have to finish wiring up our mirror for the power mirrors and whatnot, but we got glass here. So sticking with the theme of getting this thing more and more put back together, I actually want to jump over to putting a radio in this car because right now we don't have one, and this car came with a very outdated single DIN head unit. So right here we've got a MVH 1400 NEX Pioneer head unit. I literally just wanted Apple CarPlay and this one was on sale. We have a double DIN FD install bracket kit. I got some speaker wire because I am adding rear speakers to the FD because right now it doesn't have any. And mine came with the weird Bose sound system, so I'm adding speakers right there. I've got two of them here, but I don't know if I want to use these two for the door or not. These two will go in the door, two more will go in the rear of the car because from the factory, well, at least my RX7 never came with rear speakers. It came with the weird Bose sound system, which I'm gonna put back in, but I don't think I'm gonna hook back up. So right back there underneath the seat belts, we're gonna have a 6x9 speaker on each side, so that way we can just have decent audio quality in this car. I don't need it to be absolutely banging, I just want decent quality. So let's get to work installing a double DIN. Guy's going to just push in like so, and then we just got to fold all these tabs. So all these little tabs are going to bend inwards. Our radio is in and fits rather well, to be honest, that little cage kit. I'll link that down below. I can't test it right now because we still have a whole bunch of relays and other wiring stuff that's actually not hooked up, but super happy with that. That'll be nice to have Apple CarPlay in this car. I know not a ton of people care for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto or that kind of stuff, but for me, having the maps feature is just, it's the whole reason why I like having them. Just being
being able to have maps, see where I'm going, if I'm going somewhere I haven't been before, and having it up on like a little GPS right there, it's just money. Plus it's easier to listen to music. Now, while we still have the majority of the interior out, I actually want to run my CAN gauge harness behind the dash here down to where the ECU's at down there. Because I'm not using an IC7 and I am still using the stock cluster back there, I did want to have a CAN interface gauge. So Haltech actually makes a CAN gauge for the Elite series, I think for their non-Elite series ECUs also, but this will just plug right into a CAN network, and then this will give us all the information that we want from the ECU without having to have a laptop in the car all the time to see some data parameters. We don't have to run a whole bunch of different gauges, so we can check wideband, air to fuel ratio, boost, coolant pressure, coolant temperature, you name it, all through this little gauge. But I want to run this wire behind the dash so that way it just kind of stays hidden. So let's run this real quick. I ordered a gauge pod for this, but unfortunately it's not here yet. Plus I couldn't even put it in until the windshield goes in anyway. So at least run the wire. Let's get the wire dealt with.
After getting the wires ran for the CAN gauge, I want to knock some stuff out underneath of the car. So the first big one, I wanted to just make sure everything was out of the transmission fluid-wise, just to get any of that old stuff out, because there was a little bit of condensation buildup in there from when this thing was dry ice blasted. Then I also, while we're down there, might as well fill it up, right? We're gonna have to fill it up eventually. We're already there, we might as well just fill it up now. So I'm using some Model 7590 that I have had just sitting around the shop for a while. No sense in spending money on more gear oil if I've already got some sitting around. This is one that I brought up last time when we installed this diffuser. Is I wanted to swap out all of these silver screws that I had used prior for some black ones, just to help make everything kind of blend in underneath of the car a little bit better. And I will say that these little flat head washers with these little Allen head dealios did the job pretty well, because they are almost invisible at this point. I also snagged some new exhaust hangers because mine were completely blown out. I'm pretty sure they were the original ones from 1993, so to be honest, it was just time for some new ones. Rear end is pretty much tidied up. I went through, swapped all of the hardware for, you can't even see them on camera really, these black little Allens that are button heads, so that way they kind of sit a lot more flush with the rear diffuser. The exhaust is actually held up with exhaust hangers now and not zip ties. I had ordered some new ones. And then lastly, I did have to put a crush washer on the bolt for the fuel tank down here so it doesn't leak. I came across these little crush washer gasket type dealios where they've got a rubber seal inside around the crush washer, and they seem to be do pretty good. These have been a huge lifesaver to have. I'll link these down below if any of you guys. They work awesome for literally everything. We tossed one on the transmission too when we just filled that thing up. The bottom side down here is pretty much taken care of. Oh, this is good to see. I know this is a little bit late and we did this earlier, but I hooked up one of the main fuses and boom. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's blown out, but our Pioneer head unit works, and we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all the good stuff in this car. We just need to wire up speakers. I'm hyped to see that. This is an issue I need to figure out though, is with the key in the, or just with the key in the off position, the radiator fans run. Don't know why, gonna have to figure that out, but for some, they've been doing that the entire time since we put this car back together. So maybe new relays, maybe there's a missing ground, I'm not sure. Maybe the harness is a little bit messed up. Look at that, it's blowing this little baggie around. But that's something that we're gonna have to figure out. I started testing the electrical system a little bit and things are working, which is good. The radio works as I just showed you guys. The sunroof opened, which means I can put the sunroof seal on now that it's actually opened. So it's good to see that a lot of this stuff is starting to work. There's a lot of beeping going on in there. Like I showed you guys, the radiator fans are freaking out. So I wanna test the headlight retractors, see if I can get the headlights to pop up, because I do have some brand new pop-up covers for the headlights. But before we do that, let's toss in our new sunroof seal and get that kind of sealed up, then I can put the sunroof back down. I hope, I pray that I don't have to realign it. I'm hoping that we just got the alignment solid on the first attempt because I just put it back where it was when we took it apart. But seeing things work after having this car stripped down to a bare chassis is such a good feeling. Like, this was nothing but a shell and things are working, which is cool. So let's go ahead and get that seal on, and then hopefully we can get these headlights to pop up so I can get those new covers on there as well. Yeah, I don't know how much that actually helps me though. I'm just gonna start at one corner right here and work our way around. This corner right here just doesn't want me. Did it close? No, it did not. That's fine. That's a problem for another day. I don't want to do that today. I think I'm gonna have to loosen everything, bring the sunroof in, let it sit down, and then do it. I don't think we have headlight retractor. Damn, that sucks. This video took me a little bit longer to get out than I would have liked, so I do apologize for that. It's just with doing all of the body work and the paint stuff on this, it takes days. It takes literal days to prep the panels, and I don't want to leave a video half done where it's like, oh, we primered these parts. You know what I mean? I'd rather have it all complete where we can actually see the end result for what we're doing in this video. So I'm very pleased with the progress that we've made. We've got all of our body panels back on with the exception of the hood. We almost have both of the doors fully reassembled. I just need that window molding for the passenger side because mine is, dude, it's just so chewed up. It's so dry rotted, and there's overspray on it from whoever painted the car last time because they didn't properly disassemble everything. And it's been a lot to fix, but I am in love with how this car is coming out. So in the next video, I think we're gonna take a step back from bodywork and we'll pick up bodywork next week. I have to make a trip out to Spokane this week to pick up an entire 05 STI driveline for that 2.5 RS that I have sitting back there. So I may do a video of just going out to Spokane for the day. I'm not entirely sure yet. If not, there will be one more video before I head out for a day or so. So in the next video, I think we're gonna jump back on the engine stuff, get the oil coolers mounted, get all the oil cooler lines in there, get our catch can in there. The guys over at Improved Racing sent us a ton of goodies for our oiling system to get all that done. We can knock out the last of our fuel lines, mount our ethanol sensor, and hopefully kind of wrap up the engine bay a little bit more. But with that, that is all I've got for you guys on this one. So if you're hyped for the RX-7, if you like what you're seeing and you wanna see more, feel free, I'll put the subscribe button in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet, but with that, I forgot the color of the day. The color of the day today is white, in honor of the RX-7. So hit that thumbs up button or that thumbs down button, whatever one you prefer, and whatever color it turns. Color of the day is white. But with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. Ah, dude, I totally messed up this outro. So anyways, peace out, homies.